Thank you. I had an eye appointment today and had my eyes dilated, so if I start reading somewhere I shouldn't be reading, just throw something at me and wake me up. First is the consent agenda. So I need to entertain a motion to approve the consent.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, first on the regular agenda is recognition of Drew Couey. I was going to say that, but I was afraid to. For completion of the National Fire Academy Managing Fire Officer curricula. So that'd be Daniela and Chief Robertson.
I'm going to read down here. I'm going to ask Drew to meet me up here. You want to stand right beside me while I read this? Yeah, you can stand right here. I'm actually going to have you hold this, if that's okay. All right. So the United States Fire Administration Managing Officer Program is a 2-year program designed to develop emerging fire and emergency services leaders. It focuses on foundational management and technical competencies learning by building leadership, communication, and strategic planning skills. It also better equips participants to address issues of interpersonal and cultural sensitivity, professional ethics, outcome-based performance, and the management of personnel and resources effectively. So Mr. Couey has completed this program, and he has enhanced his foundation in critical thinking. He has gained new perspectives on organizational dynamics and developed a greater appreciation of the principles of public safety leadership. So the significance of the Managing Officer Program lies in its holistic approach to leadership development, addressing not only the tactical aspects of fire service management, but also the strategic ones. As fire service roles continue to evolve and include more comprehensive emergency management and community engagement, this program emphasizes adaptability and innovation in handling complex challenges. It also fosters networking and collaboration, connecting participants with a national cohort of professionals with very similar goals. This structured, intensive education equips officers to take on more responsibility and influence the direction of their organization and the fire profession as a whole. I'd like to take a few minutes to thank Drew for his dedication to the fire EMS profession and his dedication to the city of Newton. Congratulations.
Commissioners kind of come behind.
Okay.
That would be great.
Feels like an all of us picture.
Exactly.
There we go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No bunny ears.
No.
You could go.
Oh, yeah. Where are you at?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Wow. Congratulations.
The real question is, can he play kickball?
No, pickleball, yeah, kickball, no.
Pickleball, okay. You did, didn't you? Okay. Next on the agenda is to consider a proclamation declaring September 15th to October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Why don't you introduce yourselves first and then read the proclamation? Everybody has to talk just a little bit, even if you don't want to.
Good evening. Our group, Latinos Unidos, is made up of community members. My name is Veronica Mesqueda Bargdell.
My name is Alex Carbajal.
My name is Joanna Castillo.
Andy Ortiz.
Sal Lujano.
And we are asking for your support in signing of our proclamation for National Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas on September 17th, 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law the National Hispanic Heritage Week Bill, which authorized the president to designate the week of September 15th as the National Hispanic Heritage Week, which was first observed in 1968 and then expanded by President Ronald Reagan to cover a 30-day period.
Hispanic and Latin Americans have enhanced and shaped our nation's character with century-old traditions and reflects a multi-ethnic and multicultural customs that makes our nation great, while adding their own distinct and dynamic perspectives. Can I put "and food" in there? Or is that like way unofficial?
You can do whatever you want.
To the story of our country. And
The City of Newton honors and celebrates the contributions of Hispanic and Latin Americans in our deep history, especially the contributions in Newton through small business ownership, volunteerism, and workforce support.
Whereas Hispanic Heritage Month is an incredible opportunity to speak with one voice and acknowledge the crucial role that Hispanic and Latin Americans play in shaping the future of our community, our country, and the world.
Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Rod Cry, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th of 2024 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay. I'd entertain a motion to
I would make that motion, sir.
okay. Got a
I second that.
motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm going to just bring something up, and at the risk of losing friendships from some who are standing in front of me, and I've already spoken to Daniela about it and the other commissioners, I don't have anything against you because you're Hispanic. I just don't believe city government, and in light of our culture today with much of the race issues going on, and talking with others and seeking the opinions of many citizens in the community. And I do believe that elevating ethnic groups, ethnicities, is an opportunity for there to be divisiveness. I appreciate each of you. I don't know some of you, but I appreciate your contributions. And when we hired Daniela, and I have said this to her, I didn't look at you because you were Hispanic. And she has referred to herself at times as a woman of color. I said, I saw you. You happen to be a woman, but you were qualified to do the job. And what would it be like if we were all blind and just dealt with one another based on what we know and contribute to what goes on in daily life? So I don't ask you to respect my decision. I just ask you to, I guess, I shouldn't even ask you to understand. You don't have to. So I will dissent on that, I guess.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
You want a photo?
Thank you, guys.
Come up front.
Come on up front. Picture with the mayor.
Oh, well. You don't have to do this. Oh, I know. Okay, I know. But it's absolutely necessary. You know what I mean? Okay. All right.
All right. 1, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Were you going to go over the middle?
Hurdle up.
Okay. Next item, consider a proclamation declaring October 6th through 12th of 2024 as Fire Prevention Week. And we have Andy Harder.
Hello.
Yeah.
The lucky one that gets to read this today. Whereas the City of Newton is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our town, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires kill more than 2,700 people in the United States in 2022, according to the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, and whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in home fires almost in half. Smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of fire, in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas Newton residents should install proper smoke alarms in every sleeping room outside each sleeping area and on every level of the home. And whereas Newton residents should test smoke alarms at least once a month and practice a home fire escape plan. And whereas Newton first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protective education. And whereas Newton residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme, Smoke Alarms Make Them Work for You, serves to remind us of the importance of having working smoke alarms in your home.
Now, therefore, I, Rod Cry, Mayor of the City of Newton, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th of 2024 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this city, and I urge all the people of the City of Newton to check their kitchens for fire hazards and use safe cooking practices, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the City of Newton's fire and emergency services. Okay, I'd entertain a motion to name that week Fire Prevention Week.
I so move.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have to stay up here, Andy.
Oh.
He's like, nope.
Comb your hair.
He's not wanting to cooperate, is he?
Your hair.
You don't want a picture? Okay. That was so many whereases.
Boy, that was a long one.
Okay, next item. Consider a request to close Main Street from 5th to 8th Street, 6th Street from Main to the alley east and west, and Broadway from the alley east and west on October 3rd from noon to 10:30 p.m. for Taste of Newton. Denise.
Yes, thank you. This is a request that we have every year for closing of Main Street for the Taste of Newton. This year they are adding another block, so they will close all the way down to 8th Street. We have to talk to KDOT about closing the streets for this, and they have approved the closing because it's a K-15. And staff is okay with this request and would ask that you approve it.
Okay.
Well, I move that we approve this request for the Taste of Newton with all of the detail here.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Away you go, Pam. It's hard to believe it's here already.
I know.
I know.
Consider a request to close First Street from Meridian to Grandview and Grandview to Athletic Park entrance on October 11th from 5:30 to 6:30 for the Newton High School Homecoming Parade. Denise?
Yes, we have received the request from the high school to close First Street from Meridian to Grandview. That has seemed to be the better route to go instead of trying to go down Main Street, and they've been doing this for the last couple of years. They will also go around the circle and then probably, I don't know what their activities are for that, but staff has been notified and is okay with this request, so would recommend approval.
Okay.
Well, I move that we approve this request.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consider a request to close Main Street on October 31st from 5 to 7 for the Halloween Walk.
Yes, this is a request that you get every year also to close Main Street on the 31st. They would be closing from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is for the Halloween Walk, and if you've never attended downtown during this time, you should go check it out. There's lots and lots of little ghouls and goblins, and we have talked to KDOT also about closing this for that time and have received approval for that. So staff was okay with this and would recommend approval.
Okay.
I'll move that we approve that.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consider an ordinance amending the parking on Pine Street, West Broadway to 7th, east and west side, 7th Street, from Pine to 165 feet east of Pine on the south side of 7th Street. On 7th Street from Walnut to the K&O Railroad, approximately 384 feet on the south side of 7th Street. Suzanne?
Yes, Commissioners. City staff met with Ardent Mills staff regarding some changes to their truck patterns, and they have moved one of their scales from Broadway over to the 7th Street side. They already had one over there, but they have an additional one. And so that it is safer in the area and everybody can see well, we discussed this with them, and they are in favor of these changes. What you see on the screen depicts the locations that the ordinance would change to no parking. The orange lines show where there would be no parking. The properties that are immediately adjacent to those areas are all owned by Ardent Mills. And the change to Pine Street would make it no parking from Broadway all the way to 7th Street, because everything else is already no parking along there. And so we would just ask that you approve the ordinance.
Any questions or comments?
5156-24.
I move we approve 5156-24.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Planning Commission activity. Chris?
Sure. This is very close to another item that you handled at a previous city commission meeting, rezoning at the KLP from an I-2 to an I-3. If you look at the map there, it shows the one that's marked I-3. That was the one that had previously gone through the commission, provided by Lou Rabelli. Now we're doing the property to the north, which is Block 2, Lot 1. The other one is Block 1, Lot 1. So these are separate items. This went before the Planning Commission, unanimous vote, two-step process. One would be to receive their report, and then two would be to approve the ordinance that goes from an I-2 to an I-3. And as we discussed last time, I-3 is just a more heavy industrial use. You can see GAF to the south there. That's the other I-3 property that we have. Those other properties that are coded or in yellow, those are all I-2. I would stand for any questions. Staff would as well.
Any questions or comments? Okay, so we first need a motion to receive the recommendation from the Planning Commission.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance number.
Yes, that would be 5157-24.
I move that we receive or accept ordinance 515724.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. November and December meeting dates. Daniela or
Yeah.
Denise?
In light of the holidays coming up, we would like to propose looking at our calendars. We have some dates in mind. The meeting date for November 26th, we would like to move that meeting to noon instead of 7 p.m. So that would just be moving the time on the 26th. And the meeting on scheduled for December 24th, we would like to move that meeting to December 20th, which is a Thursday, and we would like to also hold that meeting at noon.
I need to look at our calendar. Is this what we talked about?
The 20th is a Friday.
Yeah.
It is a Friday.
Okay. That, I remember that being, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that works for me. Is that something that needs to
works for
be
me.
like memorialized as a motion or just?
You will need to make a motion to move the meeting times and then also to cancel the 24th meeting and make that the meeting on the 20th instead.
Can we do that all in one motion?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we move the November 26th meeting from its regularly scheduled time to noon that same day, as well as moving the December 24th meeting date to December 20th and change the time to noon.
I second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
This is
Citizens Forum, we have 2 people signed up.
26 is a Tuesday.
Okay. So when I read your name, approach the podium and give your full name and what your address is. So Kyle Smith?
Oh, my.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Kyle Smith. I live at 2007 Singletree, but I come to you tonight with the honor of being the president of the Newton Saddle Club. Unfortunately, I was planning on being here last month, but due to rainouts and having to move barrel races around, I couldn't make it on Tuesday nights. So this is a little overdue. Some people may not know what the Newton Saddle Club does. I mean, everybody knows about the Saddle Club Rodeo. And this year we were fortunate to add in a barrel racing and bull riding event. In 3 days, we had over 3,000 attendees. That is money that is brought into this community. That is money that supports us throughout the year for us to do things, which a lot of people don't know. We have youth programs to where we teach horsemanship skills. We do barrel racing. But my main reason for coming here is I want to thank the City Commission. I want to thank Susan Loomis and her department. I want to thank the police department, and I want to thank the fire department. Couple of anecdotes here, and you'll understand why I want to thank you all. I came out right before the rodeo, and I was like, boy, I'm going to have to weed eat underneath the bleachers. Well, I come out on the Wednesday, and there's a city crew out there, a bunch of fine young men and women, and they had her done in no time flat. And they really worked hard, and want them to know, Ms. Loomis, I want you to know that we really appreciate that from the Saddle Club. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
Please do. Also, for the police department, for years, I have been a big supporter of the police department, and I always will be a big supporter of the police department. I want you to know that this year, during our rodeo and during our bulls and barrels, we do have a police presence there. The officers that I encounter are professional 100%. I appreciate that as a citizen of Newton, and as the president of the Saddle Club, I want you to know I appreciate that. They're also extremely friendly, and boy, they can't wait for the rodeo. They kind of like it. So, Chief, want you to please extend to all of your officers how much the Saddle Club appreciates what they do for us. Last but not least is the fire department. In June, we put on, well, we rent out our arena to the Kansas State High School and Kansas State Junior High School Rodeo Association. We have a junior rodeo. And this year, we had an event to where a young man, probably 6th or 7th grade, got kicked in the chest by a horse. Fortunately, it did not injure him bad, bruised his ribs pretty good. But they did call 911, and the fire department and EMS responded. Their parents were very grateful. We're very impressed with the response time and with the professionalism of all of our people. Also, during our rodeo, one of our bull riders came off and sustained a concussion. Fortunately, he was not hurt bad either because he had on all that protective gear. But once again, EMS was out there immediately and, took care of him and made sure that he was okay. And I would like to say thank you on behalf of myself, the board of the Newton Saddle Club, and all of our members for everything the city of Newton does for us. We appreciate it.
Wow.
And we look forward to many, many more years. And before I go, in 4 years, we're having our 50th anniversary for our rodeo. We started sponsoring it in 1979. Would also like to extend to everybody in this room, everybody that's, civilians, flourishes, please come out during our summer seasons. We have all kinds of rodeo events. We have barrel racing. We have our fun shows, which is horse equitation and some speed events. All of this stuff is free. The only thing that's not free is our rodeo and our bulls and barrels. But other than that, please come out. Find me if you have questions. I'd be more than happy to talk with anybody. And if you know somebody that's looking for a saddle club or something, please have them get a hold of us. Again, thank you, council. Thank you, police, fire, city engineer. We appreciate you all.
Wow.
And please keep up the good work.
Kyle.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. We don't hear that very often, so we appreciate that. And you're right about our law enforcement and EMS and our city employees. They work really hard. Thank you.
John Van Meter.
Commissioners, staff, I come this evening requesting follow-up information regarding the old Dillon's building on Main Street. I think it was approximately 3 months ago I came with a question of who owned it and what was the plan for the building. Was told that in fact the city does own it and that it's scheduled for demolition. However, that has been a long ongoing process for demolition because apparently the soil has been contaminated by BNSF with oil or diesel or who knows what is in the soil. My question is to staff is how long has it been since this process started and what is the projected date of remedying the soil contamination that the whole building can be taken down?
Suzanne can speak to the history of it. I can report that there has been movement over the last couple of weeks in terms of our conversations with council from BNSF. So we're hoping to have something soon. I can't promise you a date on that, but there has been movement.
It's been several years. I would have to look up when we started the process. I don't recall.
Well, that being said, several years, my next question is the several years before it's remedied, the soil is taken care of, BNSF cleans it up, then the building can come down?
No, what will happen is once we have approval from the railroad, we've sent a plan, which is a plan to handle the contaminated soil to the railroad, and they will be ultimately agreeing on that, and they will fund the removal of the special hazardous waste that has been created by them. It's basically petrochemicals that have traveled from the railroad area over to the area under the building. Once we have their approval on that, then we'll be removing the building, including the footings, and then we test as we go. And any of the material that is contaminated around the footings that comes out with it, the railroad would pay for that. This is in generalities, that's how it would work. And the building will be hauled off, and then the special hazardous waste would be hauled off at the cost of the railroad.
Okay. Well, that's good news indeed. But again, the time factor is approximately.
I can't give you a timeline. I hope to have something soon.
Okay. Well, with that being said, my question is, why can we not put some paint on the old building or put up a 8 or 10 foot wooden privacy fence along the sidewalk line? So, you know, we don't have to look at the derelict building and the shape it's in our downtown. That is the question that I have for you as well as staff. It's $5,000-$10,000. I don't have any idea, but I would think that would cover the expense for the eyesore.
We have felt like we were close. We've been close, but there's a saying, you know, when you're dealing with
Hand grenades and horseshoes?
yeah,
And the railroad.
everything travels at the speed of rail of the railroad, and for me, I just would have a hard time supporting spending $10,000 on a building that we might tear down in 3 months or 6 months or yeah. Once we have the agreement signed, then I think we'll go out to bid right after that because you can't remediate the ground with the building on it.
We'll finalize the documents once we hear
Yeah.
back from them. The thing that I would offer too is, as Chris has been working with their legal staff, the comments are less. We're moving through the process,
Yeah.
and we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, good news.
And that's not, the agreement's not the first step. Suzanne's
Yeah.
done a lot of the work leading
Yeah.
up. This is just more of like a last step than a first.
Yeah.
Building the plan, getting the state to approve of the plan, all the partners.
It's a bureaucratic nightmare, but I know people think the city wastes money, but I would tell you, we have a gatekeeper right here that all the time we're hearing people say, well, gosh, she won't let us do this and she won't let us do that. I mean, we really do work so hard saving. I mean, we feel like $500 10 times is $5,000. I mean, in a budget as large as the city's budget is, I mean, there's a lot of trimming that's gone on there. And I've been saying for years that the city of Newton doesn't have a spending problem. It has a revenue problem. We're not big enough to support an old community with 18,500 residents. And we missed opportunities for growth, and we're now starting to grow. So you know, I would tell you, I'm never going to support spending $10,000 to make it look good, especially when we don't know how long it's going to take, John. So, but if there's people that feel strongly, maybe they'll pitch in and you know, come up with 10 grand and want us to put up a fence. Rich and I'll go down and help put it up.
I can tell you, it's going to take far more than 10 grand. We put a fence up down south end of town, and it was more than that. So,
Yeah. But we really do, we really do, and I shouldn't, I hope I didn't make you feel bad.
No,
but,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, but we do have a culture of you know, we question everything, everybody, you know, do you really need that? And I don't think this will pass the Donna test.
Okay. Well, that's well and good.
Yeah.
I certainly understand.
Yeah.
And appreciate your diligence on,
Yeah.
on the spending side of it.
But I understand what you're saying, because it is an eyesore.
Well, hopefully it's remedied
Yeah.
sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your time
Thank you for
and for your
caring.
efforts.
Yeah. Okay, that was all that had signed up. So does anybody else have anything they wanted to bring up, or before we go around the horn? Which way did I go last time?
You went this
you went this way.
So we'll go this way.
I don't have any.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
No, sir.
No, sir. Nope, I think I've said enough and not said anything.
I'm good, thank you.
I'm just thankful. Thank you for everything that you do for all of us. We appreciate it.
The chili cook-offs this weekend, so come on out downtown.
My wife's 50th class reunion is this weekend, so we're going to miss the chili cook-off.
I'll have
So,
some for you.
okay. I did want to mention, too, this has been brought up in a chamber breakfast. We even had a program on it. But I think a lot of the general public doesn't know that there's a group working together to do a program called Ready to Run that people will have the chance, if they know somebody that they think is going to be a good candidate to run for public office, they can nominate a candidate, or if somebody's interested in running for public office, they can fill out their own application, and there's going to be a program that they can go through where they get 2 sessions on how a school district works, 2 sessions on how a city works, 2 sessions on how a county works. There's going to be 1 general session that talks about a lot of different stuff, including municipal finance and how mill levies and stuff like that work, how to run for office, how to file, a whole multitude of things. And there's going to be 1 other session that's a starting session where they talk about leadership and doing things for your community and why people should consider running for public office. The first class is going to start in January of 2025. The applications and the nomination forms Pam has at the chamber office, and we're hoping that it's not a requirement if you go through the program for someone to run for public office, but we're of the opinion that just taking the classes, it doesn't hurt the community to have a lot of people that have considerable knowledge about how things work out there, amongst the general population, so that they can give their educated opinion about some things, because there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to how cities work, and being an elected official isn't easy. I think the people up here really take it seriously, and we're looking for other people that want to serve the community in an elected position. So anyway, that's coming to fruition. We're real close to having the guts of the curriculum set up, and in January we'll have the very first classes. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat or a Martian or you come from the moon. It's open to everybody. It's county-wide. It's not just the city of Newton, and you don't have to live just in the city of Newton. We're going to promote this in the other cities also, and other school districts too. So anyway, we're hoping that we get some good candidates, and I'm pretty excited about it. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. So if we don't have anything else, I guess we will call this meeting adjourned.